Okay, today I'm going to make a couple quick videos on using HPtuners VCM scanner. I am taking requests on short videos for using HPtuners products, especially on the Chrysler platform. In this particular case, we are using a 2018 wide body that we just installed one of our level 2 packages, nitrous outlet, nitrous system, some sticky tires, and that's going to be our test bed for today. So in these videos and all the upcoming videos, I'm going to assume that you already have the VCM suite installed and are familiar with how to hook up an HPtuners module as well as start VCM scanner. So that's what we're doing here. I'm in the wide body now, the key's on, and we're going to go ahead and connect to the vehicle. So we're going to hit this connect icon to connect to the vehicle. And hopefully it connects. Sometimes you have to be patient. Okay, it appears we are connected. So one thing I like to do, as you can see, is I like to group different parameters together and separate them by a space, but sometimes it's difficult to figure out how to add a space. There's no option. You can add a channel, you can't add a space. So I discovered that if you go to the bottom of the screen, click on the last parameter and move down, it will move that down and create a space above it. So I usually do this, create a bunch of spaces that I can come down and grab at a later time. So now I have a bunch of spaces here to help me group what I want to group together. So some of the things I like to see, in addition to engine RPM, one thing that's really important to me is oil pressure. So I'll usually go over to add a channel and look for oil pressure. So I'll throw that in there. Another thing I like to have is actual idle or desired idle as opposed to the current idle that it shows, because the engine RPM here is the actual engine RPM versus what it's targeting. So I'll throw in the desired RPM, and you get the idea on how to add different channels, but that's the easiest way to do that. And in this particular case, I want this desired RPM to be up with the engine RPM, so I will just simply move it up. I'd like to have a space in here now to separate oil pressure and the engine RPM. So I'm going to go down here and grab one of these empty spaces. I'm going to hit the control and the up arrow, and I'm just going to move this space all the way to the top. The idea here is just to give you an idea how to utilize creating a blank space and moving it. Okay, so now I got my engine RPM information together, oil pressure and speed, engine coolant temp, and the easiest way to add channels is simply click on the add channel and see what you have available. If you're using a external wideband, there's pre-programmed external inputs over here. You'll have to watch another video on how to configure those. So at this point in time, I would like to save off this configuration that I've created. Generally, I add significantly more parameters, especially if it's an automatic transmission car. This particular car is a manual transmission car, so there's literally nothing I can add. But on the automatic transmission side, I'll generally add probably 20 or 30 parameters that I like to monitor, and I'll add them just the same way I showed right there. But now I want to save this off so that I can use it in the future. So I'll click on this little floppy disk, save channel config as, and I will save this in, I personally save everything under VCM scanner, channel configs, and then I break it up by whatever platform I'm tuning on, whether it's GM or Chrysler. So in this particular case, this is a 2018 wide body, so I'm going to name it that, 2018, and this is a manual transmission car, M6 wide body. As you can see, I already have one there. So I'll click that, it saves it as a channels XML file, and I'm good. So in this case, if I ever do a 2018 wide body with an M6, I'll already have my channels file saved off that I could reopen again. So some other neat features of VCM scanner. We do have the ability to read diagnostic codes. So let's go and see. We finished this car up. Hopefully there's no diagnostic codes here. So let me take a read on this. No DTCs selected. Excellent. If there were codes and they were current or pending, you've corrected the issue, you can go ahead and clear them. Permanent codes will reside in here. they're really nothing to be concerned about. It's just historical information, and the only way to get rid of them that I'm aware of is using one of our YTech modules to clear them. But the only codes you need to be concerned with are those that are shown as current or pending. So in this case, we're good. So we're going to exit out of here. Another feature, special functions. If you're putting a new PCM in your car, one of the things you want to do, if you're purchasing a recalibrated or revinned PCM from us, we generally do the throttle relearns on the bench, but my bench flasher right now is not set up to do the 2018s, so you will have to come in and do a throttle relearn. And also, anytime I send you a tune or you're tuning your own car and you change injector scalings, you're going to want to hit reset all adaptives. That's going to help you're going to basically, when you start the car up with new injector settings, it's going to have no adaptives, so it's going to start learning new. So other than that, there's not really any more special functions on this particular vehicle that I can go through, but on automatic transmission vehicles, some any Jeep JKs, there'll be transmission information that you can change, transfer case information, gear ratio, tire height. There's quite a few parameters you can change on an automatic car. There's also traction control can be enabled and disabled in some older model vehicles, which helps you when you're on the dyno. Okay, so other than that, right now we also have our layouts that can be changed. You have gauges, graphs, and charts. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but these are options that can be changed. If you wanted to change the graph, you would go in here and change your gauge layouts, and of course you can reset peaks and change how they display. Same with the charts. You can go into charts layout and change these different parameters to whatever you want to see. There are max limits, the color of the lines that display, all kinds of information that we will cover in another video. So right now, if you are satisfied that you have all the channels you would like and you would like to start monitoring, you simply click on the record button. And in this particular car, sitting here, and I had it running, so the engine temperature is currently 117 degrees, intake air is 66, it's 21 degrees out here. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this car up, and you'll see some additional information recording. Okay, so right now, since I didn't reset adaptives, this is already pulling 4% fuel out. It knows that from previous runtime. And these are our fuel trims, so it's adding fuel, taking fuel out. And whenever you're looking for total fuel trim information, you have to take this, combine it with this and this side. So it's taking 7 out, but it's adding 7, so it's almost 0. Same over here. It's taking 4.7 out, and it's jumping around between 3 and 6, so pretty darn close to 0 on the idle fuel trims. There's some other information, as you'll see, and basically you can add anything in this chart versus time that you're recording over here in the channels files. So I would encourage you to take some time, configure this the way you would like to see it, or if you're doing remote tuning through us, I will actually send you a channels file. So if I send you an email with a tune, here's basically what you would do. Open the channels file. In this particular case, we're going to open the same one I sent you. So this would be included in an email. You would save this off to your desktop or somewhere on your computer. Wherever that location is, you would click it. It would open this up, and you simply would start recording. And I'll give you instructions whether to let it cold start, hot start, idle, drive, wide open throttle. Whatever my instructions in my email tune say, this is what you want to do. You want to save this off. So I'm going to stop recording now. Hit the stop recording button. I'm going to shut this car off. And the first thing you want to do is save this file off. So you go onto the save log file as, and you can save it wherever you would like. In this particular case, I'm going to put this actually under miscellaneous, and I'll just call it junk for now. But I generally like to use a date, time, and whatever information, like it's a cold start, hot start, and go from there. So if you have any other questions or suggestions for additional videos, please let me know. Thanks a lot. Bye.